Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're getting into an idea that, on its face, it sounds like a real contradiction.
It does.
It's a philosophical puzzle, really, but it's wrapped up in something we all know, love. And the question is this: how can you love someone completely, 100% all in right now, and still somehow find room to love them more tomorrow?
It just immediately makes you think of math, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like this fundamental measurement problem.
Yeah, a measurement problem.
If you give 100%,
Yeah.
there's no room left for 101.
Yeah.
And that's the wall we hit when we think of love as like a fixed container.
Exactly. We see it as a state you achieve, you cross a finish line. But today we are looking at this really profound essay, The Growing Shape of Love. It's written by Pedro Mala.
And Mala is the founder of this philosophical collective. They're called the Ghosts Movement. They focus on presence, on relational honesty.
And he argues that this whole contradiction, it only exists because we're using the wrong tools. We're trying to measure love in the wrong way.
So our mission for you today is to really unpack that argument, to explain Mala's idea that love isn't a fixed state at all, but a dynamic process.
Something that moves and breathes.
Exactly. It changes shape with us as we live. And we're going to get into his core concepts, the dot, love is soil, and see how they can, maybe transform how you understand connection.
Okay, let's jump right in there. If the old model says complete love means you've maxed out, what's Malasa's distinction? What does it mean to love someone completely today?
What's so interesting is that he doesn't actually deny that feeling of completeness.
Right.
He says, when we feel that, we're describing a present truth. It means that every part of us, every part that's available in that moment, is turned toward the other person.
So it feels like 100% because it's reaching the current edges of who I am. It's the full expression of me right now.
Precisely. It's not a statement about the future. It's a commitment to the depth of right now. And that right there, that solves the measurement problem. Because if I expand as a person, then my 100% expands with me. The depth grows. The dimension of the love grows. It's not about the intensity getting higher.
Okay, that clicks. So if my love now is 100% of me, the only way to love more tomorrow is for me to become, well, bigger.
And that is the central insight of the Ghost Movement.
Yeah.
That we are not finished people.
We're not finished people.
Not at all. We spend our lives being reshaped, refined, enlarged by everything that happens. Mala says that time just draws out different notes in us, notes we didn't even know we had.
And that capacity for love, it grows through joy, sure, but he also says it's through the hard stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Through illness, through work, shared sorrow, and even just the pileup of ordinary, forgettable afternoons you spend together.
I think this is a really crucial point for anyone listening. We might think, okay, if I'm already loving them 100%, then they have to change for me to love them more. But that's not it at all.
No, he shifts the focus completely. It's not about the person you love needing to become more lovable or earning more of your love.
They're already held completely.
They are. The growth is about you, the one doing the loving. It's about you having more life, more wisdom, more capacity to bring to that connection. Your vessel gets bigger.
That's such a powerful way to frame it. We're not demanding the other person expand. We're committing to expanding ourselves so our love has more room to move.
And the growth of the relationship is just. It's the intersection of those two unfolding lives. He makes it really tangible, too. Think about the love you felt when you first held hands.
Okay.
It felt pure, intense, complete for that moment, right?
Right.
Now, compare that to the love you know years later, after you've stood together in a hospital corridor, or navigated some huge financial setback, or just shared the quiet of a kitchen at night for a decade.
More life lived means more love is present. The relationship is deeper because the people are deeper. You found parts of yourself, resilience, vulnerability, that just didn't exist back then.
And love meets you right there. It expands right into that new, hard-won space. That's why in long relationships, it can feel like you're re-meeting the person you love.
Even though they haven't gone anywhere.
Right. They're just bringing their current self to the table. And that self includes all the lessons they learned since yesterday.
So this whole idea of permanence, of keeping those two unfolding lives connected, that pushes us towards his next big metaphor, doesn't it? Moving away from love as a static object.
He does. We have this cultural habit, it's so ingrained, of treating love like a prize.
An achievement.
Yes, something you get, you name it, and then you work so hard to hold on to it, to keep it perfectly preserved like it's in a museum. We try to freeze the best day and make that the standard forever.
The ultimate trophy that needs constant dusting. And that pressure. That pressure to be perfect all the time, it just works against life itself.
So Mola flips that. He says love is more like a climate or, weather that moves through a shared life.
So some days are warm and light.
And some are thick with pressure or heavy, or they sit with a shadow. You can't maintain one perfect temperature forever. It's impossible.
So the goal isn't controlling the weather, it's just to keep showing up, honestly, with who you are today, whatever the conditions are.
And that process of returning, of just showing up,
Mm-hmm.
that's where the growth is. It's a kind of active patience.
That active patience. That brings us to his most unique concept, I think, the one from the Ghosts movement.
It does. It brings us to the dot.
The dot. It's such a small, specific idea, but it has so much weight in the essay. It sounds a bit zen. How does he define it in a practical way?
He defines it as the quiet center. It's what's underneath all the story, all the habit, all the performance of a relationship.
Yeah.
It's that core point inside you that doesn't need to prove itself. It doesn't need to earn its keep. It's just fundamental, unvarnished presence.
That's a powerful definition. It strips away all the conditions we attach to love, doesn't it? The expectations, the roles we play. But does living from the dot risk making things feel less active? Less passionate, maybe?
That's a fair question, but he would argue the opposite. Loving from the dot means you're loving without trying to hold or control or optimize the outcome. You are just being here.
I see. When we love from expectation, we're loving a future version of them
Yeah.
or a memory of them.
Yes, the dot forces you into the honest now.
So it actually increases the depth of your attention. You're seeing them and letting yourself be seen without all the filters of history and fear.
Exactly. And when you drop into that quiet center, your love changes. Not in loyalty, that's constant, but in its depth. It lets you meet the same person again and again with clear eyes.
So each meeting is both familiar and totally new.
And that practice of seeing anew, free of expectation,
Mm-hmm.
that is a form of growth right there.
That clarity, that simple presence, it lets you really see what the relationship is made of. Which brings us right to that other metaphor, love as soil.
Yes. This is where the idea of growth gets really grounded.
Right. It explains how the deepest relationships aren't built on grand gestures. They're built from the quiet, sometimes messy pile-up of everyday life.
I mean, think about a garden. You can cover the surface with beautiful seeds in one day. The relationship looks complete.
But the real richness, the staying power, that's decided by what's fallen into the ground and composted over seasons.
And Malha is so specific about what deepens that soil. It's not just the good stuff, the quiet talks and the laughter.
No.
It's the mistakes you owned up to, the apologies that took real courage. It's the shared grief that just knocked the wind out of both of you, or that long season of doubt you survived because you just refused to walk away.
And all that material, it goes to ground. It becomes this deep organic matter that feeds the roots.
It's the same relationship, but the roots have so much more to drink from. It draws more life because there's more life in the soil.
Which means you have to be radically honest. You have to include the parts of yourself you usually try to hide.
That's the vulnerability it demands. The truth is, love only grows when it includes what we once hid from. We don't just love with our best curated selves. Over time, in that safe space, you discover things. Fear you didn't know you had, anger that surprises you, shame you thought was long gone.
And the growth moment isn't avoiding those shadows, it's bringing them out into the open. That's when love expands through recognition.
Yes, that's the word. I see this hidden, messy human part of you now, and I'm still here. I see it in myself, and you see it too.
That shared act of seeing is everything.
It is. And the takeaway is that nothing needs to be tidied away to deserve love. Bringing all of it to the table, the whole messy reality of who you are, that's what creates more for the relationship to hold. It expands to fit the reality of two whole people, not just their highlights.
That shift from broad acceptance to specific applied care, that comes down to the smallest details, doesn't it?
It does.
And that moves us into the last way love grows, through precision and maybe paradoxically through rupture.
Yes, love grows when it becomes precise. And Mala argues that precision isn't the opposite of warmth. It's how warmth finds the exact right place to land.
So it's received as specific care, not just a general gesture.
Exactly. It's moving past I love you into these small, observable acts of knowing. Noticing the way they make their tea.
Specific temperature. The ritual.
Knowing the rhythm of their steps when they're tired. Understanding how they worry when the car is late.
I love the example he uses about the blanket at the end of the bed.
It's so good.
They straighten it not because they're neat, but because that tiny act of order, It calms a specific noise in their chest that no one else hears.
And to know that detail,
Hmm.
that is to love with precision. These things aren't small. They're the vocabulary of real love.
It's the difference between I love you and I see you and I know what you need right now.
But the essay doesn't shy away from the hard reality. Growth also happens through rupture. When something breaks, a harsh word, a failure of trust, a moment of distance,
The relationship is tested.
and if the commitment is safe, love doesn't try to erase that rupture. It learns how to hold the world as it really is.
Mm.
The bond changes shape, and it grows strongest right at the broken place by making honest room around that crack.
The promise changes. It moves from I will never hurt you, which is impossible.
To the honest promise, which is, I will not pretend this didn't happen. I will be here with you in the truth of it.
Yeah.
That willingness to hold the damage,
Yeah.
that's how the container of love gets bigger.
Which brings it all back around to his main synthesis, really. What Mala calls the practice of returning.
Right. Love isn't a thing you possess. It's a movement you commit to.
You're constantly cutting new paths through the landscape between you.
Many, many paths. You return when you're delighted. You return when you're bored. You return when you're deeply hurt. You return when you're hopeful.
And each one of those returns proves something vital. We don't only love when it's easy, we love even when we feel lost or far away.
And that act of coming back, it teaches us the way home. It strengthens the bond in a way that a perfect rupture-free relationship never could. It creates this internal compass that just always points back to that shared presence.
To that quiet dot. So to bring this all together for you, the listener, the core idea is that real love just keeps learning a person. Completion is the truth of a moment. Growth is what happens when those moments keep happening and you keep showing up.
And Malaz's essay, it really highlights the role of silence and memory here. Think about just sitting in a comfortable silence with someone you love. There's no expectation, no rush.
Just a shared awareness.
And in that quiet, you're totally together, but you can feel more love arriving because you both know that neither of you is finished. That silence is the space where the relationship breathes.
And memory. Memory isn't just an archive. It comes back as feeling, as rhythm. And when love meets memory with gentleness, it softens the hard edges of the past. Not by forgetting pain.
But by being with the past, together. And this integrated history creates more room for love to exist right now.
It's a vision that asks for honesty in return, not for perfection. To love completely today is just to give all of yourself as you are now. To love more tomorrow is to bring tomorrow's self to the table too.
The whole relationship matures. It moves from being about needing someone to just knowing them and being with them. I know you, I know me, I'm here.
Time is not the enemy of love. It's the field where love learns its own strength. And that leads us to our final thought for you to carry with you.
If love really is soil, and it depends on the organic matter you let fall into it, what painful or messy or quiet material have you been trying to sweep away?
What if that's actually the richest fertilizer for the growth of your most important connections? If you keep returning and you let those hidden parts become part of the shared life, love will just keep finding new ways to deepen and to hold you.